Let me go ahead and do that. All right. Welcome, everybody, to Elevating Luxury. This is Leo Robles, your co-host here of the event, and I'm here with George Salazar. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of context because George and I have had the opportunity to get to know one another. I've known about him. I've seen him on different stages. I've had the opportunity to talk to him in the past, and we just recently had the opportunity to actually work together. So it's officially part of our company. So welcome, George. Thank you for partnering up with us. And he has a very extensive background, 25-year career. So I'm just going to go over his bio just so you guys get some context of who George is. Nationwide multi-million-dollar producer, George Salazar brings his experience, integrity, and innovative marketing to the service of his clients. With degrees in economics and engineering and background in finance and business, he understands that every sale and every purchase is a link to the client's future. With his ability to understand the hidden value in every property, he is known for designing custom-made buying and selling strategies for his clients that produce extraordinary results and set new trends in the market. He excels in selling at record-setting prices in any market and finding the hidden gems for his buyers. During his 25-year career, George has represented people from all walks of life, including celebrities, professionals, entrepreneurs, investors, and owners of iconic properties, consistently delivering extraordinary results. Such outstanding results created a strong following of loyal clients and made him one of the most sought-out agents in California. Also, fun note, he does speak 4 languages: English, Spanish, Italian, and Portuguese. So, Mr. George Salazar, thank you so much, man. Appreciate you being here. Thank you for the opportunity. I'm so excited to hear what you have to share today with us.
Yeah, well, good morning. Thank you for having me. Thank you for being here. This is a great opportunity for everybody to get a good approach to what luxury real estate is. So let me make it clear. I still treasure every client I have. I still remember the letter I got on the 3rd house I sold in my career. Someone writing me saying, "We would never thought we could buy a house, that we could own a house in the United States." It was, of course, from Mexico. And it was my pleasure. That changed my whole career because I understood that what people are looking when they call us is a solution to a huge problem they're having. So from that context, over the years, I started to gravitate to high-end, to luxury properties. And, well, I wasn't really the perfect candidate for that, to be honest with you, because you may have not noticed, but I have a strong accent. And I wasn't raised here. I came here in my 30s. I didn't go to school with rich people. I didn't know anybody who had a luxury property. So I had to claw my way into this. So, and if I did it, any of you can do it. All of you can do it. So let's get started now with real estate, literally what I learned about luxury real estate. First, what is luxury real estate? Well, luxury real estate is situational. It depends where you are. So you should look around, and probably you already know, if you're experienced, where are the most expensive neighborhoods that are within driving distance for you to work, that justify for you to go there. They may be within half an hour ride driving, maybe 15 minutes away, maybe an hour and a half away. You choose how much time you want to spend driving to those neighborhoods, and then pick the most expensive neighborhood within that range. So that's your luxury property. That's the luxury neighborhood for you. And it could be, if your average sales price is, I don't know, $150,000, it could be a $500,000, $700,000 property. If you're selling $700,000 product, maybe $1.5 million, $2 million, and you keep going up. But just, in this market where so many agents are discovering they don't like real estate, and now we are like 1/3 of the agents discover they don't like real estate because now they have to work. You are the hard workers, so you can get market share. And there's no way you cannot make it in high-end real estate. I promise you. My competition has TV programs. You see them selling such $1 million. I go against them. Sometimes I get the listing. Many more times they get the listings. But that doesn't mean I cannot get those listings. It doesn't mean I cannot perform as well as they can perform. They have a different way of marketing themselves. period. So me is me. So if I can do it, anybody can do it. So these are the steps. Choose that neighborhood. How many houses you want to have there? I don't know. Just make sure that there are at least enough houses that in a year, if you can get 3-5% at the beginning of that market, then you can make a good living. And you're going to make commissions that are like 2, 3, 5, 10 times more of what you're making now. So it's a completely different environment. So the first thing to know about luxury properties is that luxury properties are segmented on the price, and they correspond exactly to the demographics for each segment. And this demographics is a very important concept in real estate. That's going to help you at any price point. You should be able to understand the lifestyle of every demographics. You know, pretty simple, blue-collar demographics. How do you know a neighborhood is a blue-collar demographic? Because you drive around and you see that there's a lot of Japanese use pickup trucks and a lot of compact cars that are kind of 10 years old, etc. How you understand it's a middle class. Who's the middle class? Well, the middle class is teachers, firefighters, all the people who share, and then you're going to see better cars there. How you understand you are in the professionals neighborhood because they drive newer cars and they tend to drive Germans as opposed to Japanese or Hondas. So understanding demographics gives you an insight in how these people think, because literally what they expect from you is different than what your clients are expecting from you now. So let's get a little bit into understanding the owners. For people who own a property in the $750,000 to $1.5 million in California, those people are middle class. Those people have very specific, they tend to be professionals or small business owners. So they have a mentality and they're extremely busy. Their lives are more complicated than a seller in a blue-collar neighborhood, which is just works 12 hours a day in 2 different jobs. And it's very making those sellers, they don't have time to think. Honest to God, I sell their properties too. I don't pass any property because if they pay me, I will show up, period. And I give the same services to everybody. So someone around the $1 million price, yeah, it's a supervisor or a manager, may have a government employment, something like that. These people have access to better information because they have more time and they're familiar with computers. So they will respond when you talk to them if you make sense. They're looking for an agent who understands them. Everybody looking for an agent who understands what the business is. So if you're going to go into the price range, $3 million to $5 million, let me share some screens here. I don't know if you see this. Can you see this? Can you see
Yes.
a house there?
Yes.
Very modern house. Okay, good. This house is a $2 million house in a middle-class neighborhood. And the people who bought this house is a brand new house, who bought the house have a very specific lifestyle. These people were younger on age, have no children, they're both professionals. And they were making a combined $120,000, $150,000 a year. This is a 3-bedroom, 3.5 bath house, 3,000 square feet in Monterey Park. This is the top of the house. So these people like to entertain. The people who are going to buy the house have cars. Actually, their cars, one was a Tesla and Model 3, and the other one was an SUV. I can't remember what it was. This house, on the other hand, it's about a $7 million house. This house is in Brentwood. The lifestyle of these people is completely different. What they do for a living, what they like to do, what they are looking in selling a house is completely different than the other house we just saw. So, and this is the rich and famous, the houses in LA. The lifestyle, this is a house in the Hollywood Hills that I also represented, and the owners are movie producers. And this is a movie producing house. just a James Bond house, if you want. And again, what they're looking for in a house and the lifestyle and we're looking for in an agent is completely different than the other houses. And then you have this one, which is a $25 million mansion. It's 11,000 square foot in Bellercrest, and it's spectacular. You have 3 different gardens there, 3 different backyards, a pool yard, and a fountain yard, and then a private entertaining yard with a grotto at the end. So all these people think differently and are looking for different things in agents. So let's see how do I work with these people? Okay, how do I get to them to choose me as an agent? The first thing I do is before going to any listing presentation, I need to know the neighborhood. So you need to start, once you choose the neighborhood, you drive around and you look at the cars that drive and you go to every single open house. You chose the neighborhood, you want to sell houses there, you need to really learn it. You need to speak the language. You need to see how they think. And the best way to understand those owners is to visit the houses for sale. So go to every open house and see what amenities they have. What is their lifestyle? You know, there are some neighborhoods where a $2 million house will have 5 bedrooms because it's a 3-generational demographics. You know, tend to be Southeast Asians. And some Koreans, they like the grandparents live with the parents and live with the children that are grown up, and the children may even have a little kid there, etc. So they have a lot of bedrooms. And for them, family is an important issue. Then when you visit other demographics in that price point, in the $2 million price point, if the house is ultra modern, the neighborhood is ultra modern, you're going to find younger people making good money in this economy. And if the house is a traditional, you know, 4-bedroom house, 2,000 square feet, 3.5 baths, etc., in a 5,000 to 7,500 square foot backyard, and the house was built in the 50s or 60s, had been partially remodeled, etc., so you're in the $1.5 to $2 million. So typical middle class, you're going to see the lifestyle when you visit those open houses. Look at the pictures. You see, what do the people do? What do they think? You need to understand exactly how the life works, because they're going to confide you. For those demographics, they only own one property. 98.7% of the property owners in the United States, only one property, the property they live in. So for them, you are the connection to their future. They are coming to you because a transition point in their life. Their life is changing. They need a bigger, smaller, taller, shorter, whatever it is, their life is changing. They're asking you, please help me change my life. Help me sell this property for the most money and buy the replacement property. So you need to understand the lifestyle. I've been saying this like 15 times already, but it's so important why I get access to these high-end properties. Well, the next price point, which is like $2.5 to $8-9 million, then you have a different lifestyle. You walk into these houses and have children or grandchildren, you will see pictures of them, pictures of the diplomas, receiving diplomas, that's for sure. The owners are professionals. They may be professors, they may be teaching, they may be company owners, so business people, extremely busy. Probably I will say 60-70% of those owners are business people. They talk business. You need to have the language of business to relate to them, so they can understand that you understand them. They have 2 or 3 cars between the 2 owners, and they tend to have much better cars if they are in the entertainment business, because after all, LA is a company town. You know, show business is extremely important. Content production is extremely important. I would say easy 15% of the money that is transacting real estate in Los Angeles it comes directly from the movie business, or it comes from people that are supplies or do side stuff for the movie business. So That at least that's in demographics I do, and I sell all over California. I'm getting 2 listings in San Francisco now. So when you go beyond $8 million, $9 million, now you got the rich and famous. You got the 0.1% of 1%, which is you got the mega rich. So the biggest house I showed you there, the owner lives overseas, have mansions all over the world. When I sold that property, he had, I think, 7. His main residence was in London. Communication with him was through third parties. It was very little direct communication with him, and then very business-like, etc. Now, I want to say something that is really important. In luxury, they don't want you to be their friend. In luxury, you are the hired help, period. In luxury, they don't want you to help them with anything else but selling the house. And they're going to hire the best person they can hire for the money they can afford. So your competition is going to be top notch. And I don't care. There are agents there are 2 agents that I dislike completely. I don't like them in their business practice. I don't like them the way they behave. I don't like anything about them. They still get a lot of listings. And because they know how to market themselves and they deliver. So clients also don't like them. I've been hired by people who don't like me. I've been hired by people that said, my mother told me you're a son of a bitch, literally, because you represented the buyer to her house in Beverly Hills and you screw her. You got everything you wanted for your client and nothing that she wanted. And she had to pay a fortune to do a ton of repairs. And she told me he's a son of a bitch, I hired him. That's the guy you want on your side. So, well, I'm sorry for her. She had a stupid agent. I worked all over that agent. My client was extremely happy. So I don't need to be liked. For them, I need to be the person that delivers the goodies. And what is the goodies? I'm going to sell it for more than any other agent because I understand the property better than any other agent. That's my edge. That's what I literally tell people. And people call me 3 years later and say, you know, you made a listing presentation 3 years ago. Why should I give it to you? Now I want to say, why should I give it to you? And I tell them, probably I said something that no other agent was able to tell me. And again, in this case, he was talking to all the celebrity agents, all the ones you see on TV. And then he thought for a second, this is 3 years later of my listing presentation, and said, okay, you got a listing. Now, what did I say really that made the difference that they believe me? I told them, and you can use this, and you have to train yourself for this. I told them, I know who's going to pay the most for your property. I know what demographics are going to walk in and say, I have to have it so we can get more money from them. And then I explain them who they are. I said, I think that the buyers for this work in this kind of business or have this kind of family situation or have this, that, and those buyers are going to pay more than anybody else because it's the person for them. And how do you know who those buyers are? Well, it's not a secret. I don't have a crystal ball. Those buyers are the sellers, who the sellers were when they bought the property. So in my conversation with them at the beginning, I asked them, hey, tell me what you thought this property was when you bought the property. And then they start remembering. They say, well, when we bought the property, we thought, and then they tell me what are the highlights that tempted because these were the perfect buyers. So I need to find people like them now. And the property has been improved and it's better. So we can really stress that. I don't tell them that, but that's my take. You know, the people in front of me on the property are the perfect buyers for the property. This life situation is changing, so they need to have a change in the living circumstances. So now they're moving into something else, but who they were at the beginning is the same who they're going to be the buyers for that property. It's not a secret, it's pretty simple. And I understand that I understand how to advertise them. I understand how to communicate with them, but this is another day. Once you get a listing, how to sell it for the most money. Today is how to get the listing. So let me go back a little bit. One of the things I ask clients when I talk to them about a property is that, what do you expect from me? And then you learn a lot, because it's not what you think. They expect something completely. Believe me, I still ask the same question. I still hear things that surprise me. You know, it's just, I'm not going to get into the detail, but that's an important question to have. But why is people really interested in talking to me? Because exactly 22 years ago, because I remember when it was, I read something that said, be so good they can't ignore you. Be so good they cannot ignore you. And when I heard that 22 years ago, in 2002, it was a total eye-opening for me. It was a comedian who said that. So I thought, oh, I'm going to be so good they can't ignore me, in spite of my accent, in spite of not moving in the circles, in spite of not knowing about me. Once they're in front of me, they are not going to ignore me. And that client who called me 3 years later and gave me that house for sale, and I sold it in 52 days. It was in escrow, and then I closed it 60 days later. And it was in all the newspapers. It was just because what I was saying, it was completely different. What I was saying made a lot of sense to me. So if there is something I can advise you, is that everything you do in real estate, be so good that nobody can ignore you. People are willing to call you over and over and over. And don't try to be their friends. They're not hiring you for that. They want you to really do the stuff. I don't help clients move. I tell them, you know, how to move, but I don't help them. I'm not there the day of the moving. I'm not expected to be there. They don't want that. They want me to be a super negotiator, good marketer and super negotiator. So let's now go into the nuts bolts. You choose the area. You start going to the open houses. So after 3 months, you know the neighborhood by heart. You know how much each style of house will sell for, pretty much. You know the prices. You know what houses are for sale. You've been around a lot. You posted a lot in your social media. Every time you go to open houses, do postings. If there is an open house that someone doesn't want to show you, say there's no, for example, that there are a lot of these properties that they don't open houses. They don't do open houses because they want to control who gets into the property or not. These properties, some of them have collections. They are multimillion collections. They're very expensive ones. So they don't want other people to get into the house. Especially these days, people are getting just kind of security and safety is very important. So it's very simple. You know, I know a couple of clients overseas that one time they told me, I want to buy something in LA. So I tell the other agent, you know what, I need to preview a house, because I have a buyer overseas who may be coming soon. So he asked me to send him some interior houses. When can I preview it? The agent may tell you, I'm too busy. They say, well, why don't we do this? When are you showing it to a buyer? I will just show up 15 minutes early and preview it for my client. That's how you get access to the houses. Or if you don't mind, I will show up. You can show the house, do your whole thing. I'm not going to really interfere with you. Just walk around, look at for 3 minutes here and there, take a couple of pictures of something specifically that my client may be interested in, and I'll be out of there. So now you will have a lot of information about the area. You are, on the surface, an expert on the area. You know why? Because 90% of the agents who are there are not experts in the area. They got lucky. They got a listing there for once. They got a cousin or something like that. So you got a listing there. So, but you're an expert because now you have seen the houses for sale for 3, 4 months, 6 months, or whatever. Like, always keep looking at the house. Always go to those open. Let the neighbors see you. Get out of the house. When you go to an open house, don't leave. Go to the streets. Stay there. Walk around a little bit for the streets. Someone is walking the dog, say, hello, what's the name of the dog? Get in touch with the neighbors there. Get them to see you. And if they ask you, who are you or whatever, or if you know, I'm a realtor, I'm specialized in this neighborhood. That's what you have to say. Give them your business card, whatever. Interact with the neighborhood. Look how they are clothed, the kind of dogs they have. Understand them. Become mentally one of them. This is extremely important. You don't want me to do this by remote control. It doesn't happen. So once you have that information, how do you get the listings? That's how it comes. Okay, well, there is different companies where you can start advertising yourself in that neighborhood where they're browsing. That's not expensive for $100 a month. That's nothing in social media. You can have a rolling ad in specific zip codes. And then, so people at least, they're probably not going to call you out of there, but at least see your face. So next time you walk around the neighborhood, they say, oh, I know you. At least once or twice a week, I hear that from me. Oh, and George Salazar, I know you. I know you. Yeah, I've seen your name. You really have been around forever. There's tons of houses here. That's always my response. So you want to create that familiarity they already know. Then if you're talking to someone there in that occasion, then there are many ways to say, like, for example, I will drop, I say, you know what, actually, I'm here, literally. I'm lucky that I run into you. Do you know anybody in the neighborhood who's planning to sell at the beginning of next year? Because I have buyers for this neighborhood. And you will be surprised how people will rattle on their neighbors. Say, yeah, the guy on that house there, that the dog house, whatever, he's moving back to whatever, Montana, or he's moving back to Israel, or Europe, or Mexico, whatever. They're thinking of selling. Then, hey, knock, hey, your neighbor was working the dog told me that, and I have somebody from house that told me you're planning to sell in the near future. Can we talk? It doesn't get any easier. At any price point, you can do this. I don't care if it's $20 million. Okay, at any price point, you can do this. Also, every time someone asks you, how's the market doing? You only talk about that market. You know, we all ask this question 20 times a week. Leo, how many times do they ask you this question? How's the market doing? All the time. Yeah. Constantly. So talk about that luxury neighborhood, that $750,000 neighborhood in a $250,000 area, that $2 million neighborhood in a $750,000 area, that $5 million neighborhood in a $1 million area. Talk up your business. Show that you know that. You know why? Because you don't know, but you already have a lot of secret agents. You know who your secret agents in real estate is? Is everybody who works with people who are rich and have those houses. So anybody who works in a medical office who's your friend, anybody who's a nurse who's your friend, anybody who works in an area where their bosses are living in those kind of neighborhood is your secret agent. So this, you pick a few of them that are good friends with you, and you have the conversation. See, you know what? This, after a few months, you establish yourself at that price point. So, you know what? I was thinking, if you know anybody at work or anywhere who's planning to sell one of these houses and you introduce me, I will find a way that you can help me sell this house and make some money. Remember, you cannot offer part of the commission. You cannot do that. It's illegal. And I think it should stay illegal. But you can hire these people, which is what the big corporations do. They hire as a consultant the wife of a mayor or the husband of a president or something like that. So pretty much that's the key for your close friends and sometimes not so close friends that works in those areas to enroll them in helping you be introduced to these people. And every time you get a good listing, when you get the first listing, you're going to beat that one to death. You're going to paper the whole world with it 3 times over. But for those people, what you do is that you give them flyers to put on top of their desk. If you put on top of the desk and they ask you, are you planning to move here? You say, yes, I wish I could. It's just been sold by an agent. I know that's my friend, that's an extraordinary agent. So they start implanting in their employers or co-workers' head that they have an entry to these price points. And believe me, over the years, every now and then, I get someone referred by someone like that. The other way to get listing in those areas is to work on teams that list properties in those areas. That's another way to access this kind of, to gain the access and the training to do all this. So before we open up for questions, I would like to say that the most important thing to do this is the two things I said. Number one, be so good they cannot ignore you. Write that down, print it, hang it in the bathroom mirror every morning to look at that. Really become good at everything. Number two, you are the hard help. You are the big gun they are hiring. They don't want you to be friends. They want you to deliver the goodies. See, and they're going to hire you even if they don't like you. If they think you can make more money for them, or you can negotiate the purchase of a house better than anybody else. As clear as that. So do you agree, Leo, about that?
Mr. George, yes, 100%. Yes, be so good they cannot ignore you, and you are the hired help. I love what you said.
Meaning being the hired help instead of being the solution to all their personal problems or whatever. Listen, I had people getting divorced in the sale when we were in escrow and hiring attorneys suing each other. I wasn't going to walk into that kind of, I stayed myself as a realtor handling the craziness that at escrow that lasted 4 more months than we should have lasted. And that's what they want from you. They don't want you to buy them Kleenex. They want you to keep the sale going and close the sale. Sometimes representing buyers and sellers, at the last minute, they get cold feet. They say, no, I don't want to do it. No. I just, even if I have to, I had a client say the day before closing, I don't want to sell it to these people, cancel the sale. So, you know what I did? I said, okay, let me hang out, call the escrow and cancel everything and answer the phone and calling you right back. I didn't ask him why. He said jump, and I asked how high, period. Then I hung up, called the escrow and said, don't record tomorrow. It was funded and everything. The thing was done. Don't record tomorrow. Don't answer the phone, respond to anything for 3 hours. Let me find out what's going on. And the escrow officer said, no problem, done. He didn't ask me what was going on. I know her for years. She knew if I tell her that, hang up, call the client. I said, why do you want to sell it to them? He said, I don't like them. And I said, well, I'm not an attorney. Talking for experience, this is going to cost you between $500,000 and $700,000. So tell your attorney to call me because I'm not going to write the paperwork on this one. I want your attorney to write it because I want to make sure that your attorney starts it in the direction where you get the less punishment for this. Mm-hmm. He said, no problem. I pay them that money. I don't want to sell it to them, literally. Then, of course, I got it 15 minutes later and a call from his attorney and said, what the heck is going on? I said, well, he doesn't like them. He says, we need to close this deal. This is ridiculous. I said, yeah, man. So I just want you to keep him calm. I'll find out more. I'm going to call him now in a while after talking to you, and I'll get to the bottom of this, and then I'll find out what it was. And this client told me, well, they didn't show any respect for me. Then I called the agent on the other side and told the agent, you know what, we need your clients to send an email to you, to be forwarded to me, to be forwarded to my client, thanking him for the stewardship and owning this house. And it was so great that he's sending to them whatever, because we are not closing. We're done. Love it. And she got me that email. I don't know how she got it. I don't care. And I sent it to my client, and we recorded the day after. Not exactly the day it was supposed to. So they tell you, John, you are hard. You are the hard help. Yep. They tell you, cancel the escrow. Yes, sir. Let me cancel the escrow. Please answer the phone when I call you back.
Love it.
No threatening, no nothing. These people have money, and they know how to conduct yourself. If they tell you cancel, you need to cancel. They are the principal, you are the agent. They hire you according to the law in California because you have superior knowledge in an area where they don't have it. So you're supposed to do what they want, not what you think is best for them. Mm-hmm. Even though we shepherd them, we send them in the right direction, and we handle all these issues. And he was very happy when he closed. He was very happy. He had a moment that he had a problem selling the property. It was more of abandoning the property that he owned for this. It's a property that's in every architectural book about mid-century. The property is there. So that was the problem. Well, the problem wasn't that he hated them, whatever. He's just trying to live with selling the property.
So George, so I guess what I'll say, George, you talked about, like, people that want to get into the luxury market, go to all the open houses, understand all the neighborhood in a super high level. Be so good they can't ignore you. You are the hired help, and they're hiring you to be a great marketer and a master negotiator. And when they ask you about the market, be very specific about the market that they're in. Walk in the areas, get to know, embody the area and the people in the area. So I would like to know, I mean, I saw there was you did a sale for like $8 million. Is that one of your highest sales, would you say? Or talk about maybe some of your peak sales. And I know you've shared with me in the past, you've not only done stuff here, you've done stuff even internationally, right? So share some of your record sales that you've done.
Okay. Whatever they pay me commission and it's legal for me to do it, I will do it. I don't care. Meaning these two listings I'm getting in San Francisco is $3 million each, brand new houses designed by a famous Swiss architect. And believe me, I didn't know this architect at all. I had someone who introduced me to the architect, and then I smooched the architect to saying, hey, when can I do a video of you? Because I don't find a lot of presence online. Architects are very bad at doing social media. They're famous for that. So I ran his social media and I provide him for a lot of stuff. These some interviews. And then I told him one day, you know what, if you ever introduce me to your clients who are building to sell, who are developers, I'm going to hire you to help me sell the property. I will do an interview, 1 hour, bring a camera crew, etc. Will blast the internet with you. I need to make you famous because you deserve to be famous. And then that's why I got distance. Meaning, and when I just saw the property for $2 million from him, I paid him to show up for 2 hours. We did a video of 20 minutes, and we filmed like an hour and a half of material. Then we did a video for YouTube for 20 minutes, and then we did small things for online. And also, I paid him to come and talk to the people that were in escrow, because I didn't want to have problems in escrow. And so in order to convince them to buy the house really, 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 no matter what my clients would say in the future, my seller, I brought the architect and I pay him by the hour to talk to the buyers and tell them what they can do in the future to remodel the property they want to remodel or whatever. So you find your way. So I got these two listings there because he introduced me to them. And I'm planning to fly and do showings and everything because, $6 million, man, that's a lot of commission. That's $150,000 in commissions. I can fly and come back in 3 hours and showing the property. In some, the flight is 40 minutes. Private airline is 40 minutes, no TSA, nothing, and they have a car waiting for you at the end. So it's not different than showing the property at 2 hours from 2 hours drive from here. It's a lot shorter. So biggest sales, I sell internationally. So I sold a property for $65 million overseas. Wow. About 17 years ago. That was my biggest sale. Here in California, I sold that property. I mentioned that they wanted not to sell it, not to record it. That property is in history books and everything. That property was interesting. I sold a 4-unit building in South Central for a buyer that was a gardener that contacted me and says, I want to buy some units to retire, whatever, can you help me? Then what happened was that I found him a property for like $100,000. This is like 10 years ago. So, and the agent on the other side was very experienced. We got along pretty well. There was extreme complications of that escrow, but we were very experienced. Bing, bang, boom, bang. We closed the deal. Everybody was happy. Nobody got hurt. Everything was perfect. One of the complications that the police show up because someone killed someone in one of the units. So,
wow. Wow.
Yeah, do damage control with your buyer. Tell me about that. So, but the other agent that I said was perfect because she got the unit cleaned up in 24 hours and remove all the police tapes in 3 days, etc. We disclose everything to the buyer, etc. So it was a regular sale with a little complication, nothing expensive, but we got along pretty well. Now, fast forward 4 years, she called me and said, George, yes, how you doing? Good, good. George, you remember me? Yeah, of course I remember you. And then Tilcia Costa says, I got a listing to make a listing presentation for an expensive property. I don't have a track record. Would you like to co-list with me? I said, I will do any business with you. Because you want to go 50-50? She says, yes. I said, okay, but I'll pay for the advertising. Don't worry. You won't have any expense. Because I really appreciate that she called me. Let's listen together. And then that was a thing. Then when she gives me the address, this is a property that's in every architectural book. There's people from overseas coming to see it, just to see it, because it wasn't shown for 10 or 15 years. So we did tours of the property while I was listed with architectural schools in LA. So I got that listing that was on all the newspapers and everything because I was nice to an agent. I'm always very nice to every agent. And I got a lot of business with them because that's another way. If you see you don't feel strong, etc., go and call this. If you get a listing presentation, opportunity to talk, to try to do a listing presentation. If you think you have a better chance working with someone experienced, call them. And we will this is the issue. Of the 90,000 agents that EXP have, there is only about 800 of us that do luxury. And I sign up with EXP first because Leo is Leo. We all know this guy can convert a mommy into a top agent. His energy will awaken a mommy and they will go and take listings. And because I want in 5 years, 15% of the agents in EXP, and that's 14,000 agents from 800 to become luxury agents. There's no reason why anybody cannot be a luxury agent. And again, luxury agent is the most expensive house that are within driving distance, within the area you're willing to work. And hey, I go to San Francisco for $6 million in sales. You have to spend $10,000, $15,000 in tickets. I'll do it, man. $150,000 commission. Hey, that's nothing. I will spend the money. I go private, whatever, back and forth, etc. So now selling the properties is a completely different talk because it's very specific. There are tools that I use. I don't know others luxuries, I'm sure they do. They are very specific. For example, about co-listing, there is a neighborhood here in Los Angeles County that's called Better Crest. Better Crest is only 120. It's a gated neighborhood. Cheapest house is $4 million. Highest price, $15, $17 million. I have two record prices there per square footage. Over $1,000 per square foot in that neighborhood. Only 2 agents sold two properties like that. And it's the woman I'm partnering, Jana Beranek, I'm partnering with them there. So in that neighborhood, we do specific advertising that costs us $200-300 a month. So they never forget about us. We have the email address and phone numbers, all the email addresses of everybody over 40 who lives in the neighborhood, even tenants or owners. We don't care. Those are rich people. At least in a house, there is $30,000 a month. I'm not going to pass tenants because they may buy for $30,000 a month. You can get a probably $9 million loan on that, something like that. So that neighborhood, I share it with an agent that we're not in the same companies. And because we discovered that together we make more money than separately.
Yeah,
and it's
100%.
right in the middle. And it's
I always
that I made over the years.
I always tell everybody it's like it's better to make a 50% of something than 100% of nothing, right? And especially when you're dealing with this kind of price point, this kind of clientele. I think this is one of the key intentions, right? If you guys are thinking of breaking into the luxury space, George is an excellent individual that you guys could partner with. That way he can go to these appointments with you to help you to bring it home. And that way you can actually acquire the listing, because once you have that in your resume, right? That once you have that in your resume, that's going to help you to attract additional listings just like that. So if anybody in here obviously has would like to run any scenarios with you, what's the best way that they can get a hold of you? Is it a phone number? Is it email? Is it social media? Where should they get a hold of you?
The best way is text to my phone number, which is pretty simple. It's 310-400-6756. Or you put George Salazar Realtor, I'm going to pop up. And I only have one phone number for everybody, clients and everything. It's been published for like 20 years. So I get like everybody like tons of solicitation calls every day.
Yeah. So yeah, Andrea just posted, she wanted your contact info. So Andrea just posted it here in the chat. Hope you guys can see his cell phone number, 310-400-6756. I think Jorge was in here too. I think you're partnering up with him on a transaction. I don't know if you guys already sold it.
We're talking about that from the house in Malibu and a house in the Hollywood Hills.
Nice. Very cool. What do you think is besides everything you shared, what I think is it's so powerful, right? Really embodying the neighborhood. I mean, what if somebody hasn't had a record sale that would like to go in that market? Do you recommend that they start doing open houses themselves in those neighborhoods? Like, what are the top three things do you think that they should do to acquire business in the luxury market?
Okay, first, try to work with people who already are active in the neighborhood. So you are in the conversation. You are mentally in there. You hear, I have this pocket listing for this much. Well, that's information you can trade, because now you can go to your friends or your sphere of influence and shoot a text or an email saying, hey, there's a pocket listing in this neighborhood for this much money, for about this square footage. You call me if you're interested, or you know anybody who's interested. So first, start working with people that is already working in those neighborhoods. Number two, use your sphere of influence. Again, you don't know how many rich people your friends and your relatives know, because they don't tell you exactly. I have been introduced to rich people by the driver. I was introduced to rich people by a contractor who went to a house to fix the bathroom. He got me a listing appointment for $7 million.
Wow.
I didn't get it. Another agent got it, didn't sell, then they gave it to a second agent. I got it as the third agent. You know what the best thing in life, the best things in life are? Okay, the best thing in life is to be the firstborn. Because the firstborn get all the attention in the family from the grandparents, the parents, and everything else. We all have 10,000 pictures of the firstborn and 2,000 of the second. So the second best thing in life, after being the firstborn, is to be the second spouse. Someone broke in your spouse already. And in real estate, is to be the third listing agent. The third listing agent is the best thing to be in real estate, because all the fights have been fought. That seller is already domesticated. It's going to be an easy ride, baby. And you know what? I will say, I haven't checked the numbers lately, but I will say since 3 or 4 years ago, but I will say 15% of my sales, I'm the second, third, or fourth listing agent.
Wow.
I'm not kidding. And the story, one of the houses I put there, one of the biggest ones I put there, was rated with 3 different agents for 4 years, not a single offer. I took the listing, put in escrow in 52 days, and closed it. So the marketing I do, everything I do makes me more successful in getting buyers, because it's for a complete different session, because it's a complete different conversation. But I literally target the people I'm going to pay the most. They have to have the property. I said this before. I sell to people that have to have the property. Like when you bought it, you have to have it, correct? Yeah, well, that's what the buyers are going to bring. That's my specialty. I'm going to see what are the highlights that these people are going to love this property more than any other property. So that's it.
SOI. So SOI, obviously, and working, talking to the people, right? I think that's the number one thing I think I'm hearing you say is just talking to the people. They're going to lead you to somebody that contractors, people that are just in that area that are working with them, and that's going to give that has already some rapport, right? That can introduce you.
Yeah, well, that's exactly. See, you mentioned you put 2 things together of things I said, which was perfect. When I walk around the neighborhood in an open house, if there is a contractor, I introduce myself. And I ask them for the business card or the phone number. And I talk to them for what? I don't care if they are the sewer contractor. I don't care if these people barely speak Spanish and definitely don't speak English. I don't care. They get my undivided attention for 2 or 3 minutes. We get to know each other. I give them my business card. I tell them, hey, if I'll keep you in mind. If not anybody needs your services, I will bring you in, etc. If you know anybody who wants to buy a real estate anywhere in Southern California, let me know. I have a team who will service any price. Here, I just
Love it.
This is what I'm asking myself. Okay, agents are willing to sit in an open house. for 3 hours, okay, and talk to whoever walks in, and not willing to take for people on the streets, to talk to people on the streets.
Yeah.
Now, honest to God, I'm very good at open houses. And the people are trained to open houses in my team, they're extraordinarily good. We leave open houses with appointments to show properties, not just with names and phone numbers. And no, for appointment, I'll show you properties tomorrow. 5 p.m. we'll go out there. I'll show you properties on Tuesday, on Wednesday, whatever. We're really good. But for me, staying there and not moving, I don't like it anymore.
Yeah,
so
that's
I
a waste
walk
of
the streets. I walk everywhere on the street. I take a listing, I meet all the neighbors. I get to know all of them. And you have to be contagious, okay? You got to be contagious. Once you land in the neighborhood, bam, everybody in the neighborhood should be knowing about you, knowing about what you do and how you do it. Yeah.
Be memorable, right? Leave an impression.
Be so good they cannot ignore you. Learn that by heart every day.
Yes.
When you wake up, what am I going to be? What we're going to do today so I become even better. I learn every day. I learned today from things you said.
So George, one question that William just posted here. He was asking if you could discuss the marketing strategy for luxury. Like, what do you offer the clients? Like, if you could briefly share. We got about 4 more minutes.
Okay, good. That's a whole conversation. First, there is a suite of services that EXP has for us luxury agents. That's extraordinarily good. And they keep bringing new services. So the marketing, I promised them first, on the first luxury listing I took, I spent a ton of money. I bought magazine covers, but just to put you an idea, a $10 million property costs $15,000 to put in the market. You have to have the money. So if you don't have the money, get a partner. If someone comes to me and says, I don't have a penny, if that happened, and I wanted to give you 50%, I may say, okay, I will carry the expense, I will pay for everything, but when he sells, before we split 50%, first I get paid my expenses, for example. So putting an $8 million property in the market is about $8,000 to $9,000. What it includes first, if you're, let's say $10 million, just to make it simple, I will tell the owners, well, are you willing to be interviewed? I'll bring a camera crew, 2 cameras, a sound person, we'll interview, and you explain everything about what is incredible, special about this house. And 99% of the time say, no, we don't want to be there because these people are very proud. I said, fine, then I'm going to do this. So what I do, then they have to do that with me one-on-one. So I learn what do I want to present. So now you have to bring a camera crew to interview me. If I'm co-listing with another agent, with the other agent, and then we talk about the property, the highlights of the property. That's number one. So I offer them, we're going to do this. When I paper the internet, that they're going to see the real highlights of the property in a high definition TV broadcast quality video. Then, depending on the property, I may buy the front page or pages inside magazine. That cost, now they're $500 because the market is very low, but they used to cost $1,500 each. So they can show their friends, then I will have 20 copies delivered to their house, so they can show off to their friends because their friends take it. Oh my God, and they may call me when they're planning to sell. Who knows?
Yes.
Then,
they become your future clients. Clients right there.
Then the most important thing I do is I tell them this, okay, for every buyer who's going to come and see the property, we're going to do an X-ray of this buyer. Because at that price point, they have to tell you their names, who the buyers are. The agent have to tell you, I need to show it to these people, and then you agree to the showing. Not everybody gets to see this property. You agree to the showing that this is a viable buyer. Then they give you the names. You have to register for legal reasons to register the buyer. Once we have the names and we know where they live, because they told us that these people live in such and such town, now in about 5 minutes, we get all the social media and everything sent to us by an assistant who does the research. She's overseas in Portugal. We send this information, boom, half an hour. Now we know about these buyers. So we prepare a book custom made for these buyers. It's going to have the pictures per page that are going to trickle their lifestyle. They're going to say, I like this. I'm going to produce a PDF version of the book. It's a hardcover book costs about $25 to produce. It takes about half an hour to produce because we already have everything drafted. So it's just one person putting it together, gluing the book because it's like a regular book. It's hard copy. We have 40 pages. And then we tell the sellers, for every buyer, they will have a custom presentation. They will receive when they see the property. And also, the showings are theater pieces. We don't just walk to the property and point to stuff, okay? No, we sit down, I sit down and decide what I'm gonna show, what I'm gonna point at. It's like going to Disneyland. I'm gonna say, look at that, but from the best point in the house. Look at this. I plan how to mentally get in their heads. The other agent, the buyer's agent at this price point says nothing because lets the listing agent show the house because the buyer is going to make it $100,000 or $200,000. They're going to let you do your job. Don't pretend to show them these properties and have an opinion about the house, please, ever. Let the seller's agent do their stuff. It's choreographed 100%. You get to the property half an hour early to make sure all the lights are on, everything, and you try to steer the showings. I tell the sellers to the time of day where the house is going to show the best. And you arrange which day is going to be clean. So you try to show it that day or the day after. So it shows perfect. So this, the complexity of this is much bigger than this. But when I tell the clients that it takes about 5-10 minutes to explain all that, they go, holy crap, this guy is really, woo. All that is say, yeah, I'll put you in my TV program. Yeah, good. Then you're on your own. Now, this guy really thought of all the moving parts. Well, that's what you have to think. You know, you're in sales. You have to think that every time you have a buyer right next to you, you need to sell. You need to present the house like the best thing in town. There's nothing, because those buyers, if they came because of your advertising, probably they're going to love the house. Then very seldom I have buyers coming in and saying, I don't like this, literally. So that's pretty much it. That's what I offer the sellers, a complete package of how to market the property at that price point.
And very specific, very unique and uniquely tailored to the buyer, right? So that way they could get specifics about them seeing themselves in that property. And that's very hyper intentional marketing, which I love what you're sharing.
How intentional it is. If the buyer is from the entertaining business, the pictures are going to be about how the great entertaining house it is, like the yards, takes that you can have 150 guests, 100 guests. It has 2 kitchens, so the caterers can use 1 kitchen and don't use the personal kitchen. We're going to stress that. Now, if the buyer is a retired person that has 3 generations, we want to stress the bedrooms and the privacies, etc. So that book is and the showing is custom made to who they are. Definitely. Well, you ask the agent who's point, what are they looking at the property? Why they like this property? Why they pick this property to see? These people are very busy. They are not going to go and see the property the agent wants them to see. They're going to see the property after they check the property. They think, oh, this could be for us. And they know what they want, period.
Yes.
There's no doubt they know what they want.
Love it. I know we're going to bring you back, George, because I know you unpacked a ton of stuff. And this is the first of many series, guys. So also, if you guys got a lot of value from this, make sure you guys reach out and also give George a shout out on social media. Let him know, give him some love on social. Let me drop in your Instagram here. I think I have it.
It's me, George Salazar.
It's me.
George Salazar.
Oh, yeah, I got it right here. It's me, George Salazar. So I'm going to drop in the link here real quick for you guys. But George, I just want to say thank you, man. Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom. Thank you so much for sharing your time, your energy, your enthusiasm, your expertise. And my intention is that everybody got a ton of value. I know I did. I took a ton of notes. So stay tuned for the next series. We are going to be doing a follow-up series, and we're going to get into other specific details about the luxury space. And if you guys have any sort of clients that you guys are thinking of signing the listing, make sure that you guys contact George. He's going to give you some valuable insights on what to do to prepare. But once again, thank every single one of you for your time. God bless each and every single one of you. Mr. George, thank you once again. And recording will go out.
Become a member.
Let's go. Yeah, become a member for sure. The tool package that is available. We'll go into details about that at the next training. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.